Hour number 3, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Thursday, live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes, as the NHL trade deadline is less than 24 hours away now. We say hello to Greg Wyshynski of ESPN, presented by Old National Bank. Get old. And Greg, the Predators, I guess we've been calling it, have waved the white flag, but they're starting to sell off some assets, but the big names still remain. How you doing?
How dare you not call Nick Blankenberg a big name? I mean, that's many people are calling this the Blankenberg deadline, but no, you're right. It's going to start probably picking up business in the next 24 hours as we get closer to the deadline tomorrow. And I get the sense a lot of people believe that Eric Hall is probably going to move. I kind of agree with that sentiment. You look around at the prices being paid for players that are sort of commiserate to his place in the lineup, and it's definitely a seller's market, so there's no reason why you wouldn't. And then, it'll be interesting to see how farther down, how deeper the cut goes. I think of the big three that we always talk about with Riley, Stamkos, and Marchessault is probably the one that people believe is most likely to move, maybe just out of change because of the playoff pedigree. But we'll see what happens with that because that will require maybe for some teams to get a little bit creative financially.
So in your mind, when you look at what Barry's done so far, because I was pretty impressed. You get I don't care if it's 2028 or, next year, he got a second-round pick for Mike McCarron. He got a third-round pick for Cole Smith. I know he got a fifth for Blankenberg. I call that currency. So what could the incoming GM have to work with next year, even though fans might look at this, okay, they're going in full rebuild depending on what else they sell. I feel like with all that draft capital, you can turn this around sooner rather than later.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Cole Smith move I thought was great. I mean, I think getting a third out of that, like you said, even though it might be a little bit down the line, is great. And obviously McCarron getting a second is sort of indicative of what I was saying before, which is supporting cast players really bringing back a strong return. I'm still trying to figure out how the Blackhawks pulled a first-round pick out of Edmonton for Jason Dickinson, but I digress. Yeah. It does set up the next guy pretty well. The more draft capital you have, the more creative you can be. Look no further than the Utah Mammoth, where I think, the key to that trade of them getting Mackenzie Weegar was the ability to put together 3 second-round picks and send them to Calgary to complete that trade. So, again, it's all about assets and amassing them as best you can, and then comes the tricky part, which is how you use them. And I hate to kick a team while it's down, but to mention again, spending a first-round pick on Jason Dickinson, if you're the Edmonton Oilers, if you look at what's been put out by Stan Bowman in the last year and what's come in, it's just been pretty asset management for a team that needs to maximize their return on everything, considering their franchise player, Connor McDavid, basically gave them a 3 window to win before he leaves.
Barry Trotz has been very adamant and saying when it comes to Ryan O'Reilly, even though O'Reilly has no trade protection, he's talking to him every step of the way. O'Reilly wants to stay here. He's going to do right by him, but he has to absolutely get blown away. So in my mind, being blown away would be like multiple firsts, a prospect, and a roster player to fill in until, whoever is ready. Is that on the right track of being blown away?
I mean, there's different levels of blown away. There's apparently the blown away that St. Louis is looking for, which I guess is like Buffalo signing over their franchise charter to acquire Robert Thomas.
Well, Parayko said, no, I'm good.
And Parayko said, no, I'm good. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's pretty commiserate with what people have expected and what the going rates are. Again, it is a seller's market out there. And transactions like the Quinn Hughes trade sort of, set the market ceiling for elite players. And, you start to hear what the Blues are looking for Thomas. And for players like Parayko, and that kind of comes into play too. So these guys all have a real sense of what the marketplace looks like. And everybody I've talked to in the last week continually is telling me how high the prices are and how difficult it is to try to make these moves without having to pay an arm and a leg to do so. But on the Parayko thing quickly, man, what a kick in the teeth for Buffalo. Like, things are going so well. Like, they're going to end their playoff drought. They're feeling good about life. And then they go out and try to acquire a guy, and he's just like, I ain't going to Buffalo. Like, and we're only a few months removed from, Kevin Adams, the former GM, being like, nobody wants to come here because we don't have elm trees. And now there's like a ton of reports about Parayko wanted to go play in California instead. And it's just like, oh, man, Buffalo, things are going good, man.
Greg Wyshynski is with us. Greg, I am fascinated by your job these next 24 hours because, as you well know, there's a lot of fake accounts out there. How do you go about, validating what is accurate and what's not?
It's a great question. Listen, I'll have our various sources, agents, people in front offices that we can kind of rely on to confirm information or grab information. It's tough. You work really hard to be accurate this time of year because not only are you trying to track down people who are having the busiest time of their year and
right.
hoping that one of them can text you back or call you back in a short amount of time, but you're also trying to avoid the smoke screens and the things that are put out there, for reasons that maybe us on the outside don't understand, but within the context of a negotiation, it makes more sense. And that leads me to something that's really been interesting to watch at this deadline, which is we've had at least 4 instances in which trades have leaked without the principal of that trade agreeing to be traded. Tyler Myers to Detroit, Mackenzie Weegar to Utah, Jason Dickinson to Edmonton, and then most famously Colton Parayko to the Sabres. And 2 of those trades didn't happen. And I can't for the life of me remember the last deadline where this many trades have leaked where the principal of the trade hadn't actually agreed to be traded. There's something going on, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's an intriguing little sidebar to this deadline for sure.
So I know for us, like we keep refreshing to do all that. But do you stay awake the next one? Because we're all looking to you, like what's breaking, what's happening. I mean, do you leave the office? Do you have like 4 computers set up? How do you work this?
Well, I mean, for me, it's easy. I do have a massive cocaine habit, but no,
that'll do it.
Starting last night into tomorrow at 3 p.m., it is kind of your doctor on call. You're pretty sure that once you get a good half an hour after the West Coast games end, that you might be able to call it, which is where I was last night. I just assumed that we weren't going to get anything really breaking overnight, but this is going to be a real long night tonight, not only in preparing for stuff for tomorrow, but also keeping an eye out and an ear open for things that might happen. And then tomorrow I'm actually in Bristol. I'm in Bristol all day. I'll be getting up there super early. I've got some video show stuff to do and some podcast stuff to do. And, if they need me on TV, I'll wear a tie. But it's going to be a long day, and it's a long day reaching out to sources and then also, trying to be as quick as you can to evaluate these things. It's tough because you don't know ultimately how some of these trades are going to work out, but it doesn't mean you get away from writing winners and losers, which is what I'll be doing mostly tomorrow, I think.
Can I just say this? And look, I love Adam Schefter. I think he does a fantastic job. But he broke an NBA trade, and he broke the Panarin trade. Like, can he just stay in his lane and let you guys do it? I mean, are you going to be breaking Jets trades soon? Is that what we're getting?
No, Jets trades break me is the way that usually works. But no, listen. I think I got a real kick out of Schefter breaking the Panarin thing. I still haven't gotten a chance to ask him how that came about, but that's really funny. But I think you make a good point, which is that at this time of year, information comes from weird places. I think specifically about this account I've been following on Twitter, where it's just that follows who guys are following or unfollowing on Instagram. Like, for example, Jeff Skinner just unfollowed the San Jose Sharks because they cut him. And I've been wondering if tomorrow at some point that account's going to put out something that they break a trade based on somebody who's followed somebody on Instagram. Like, it's possible. And so that's what makes it exciting, is to we all know the insiders that we're going to rely on. We all know the networks are going to rely on. Hopefully people rely on ESPN. But it's sometimes those little weird pockets of information you have to kind of keep your eye out for that ultimately could provide a breaking trade, and you don't realize it at first.
Do you get I mean, you've been doing this a long time now, Greg, but do you get the adrenaline rush when you break, whether it's a trade or break news? I've done it twice in my career because that's not really my thing. And both times I've had like the sweats because I just wanted to make sure I was right.
It's two levels of sweats. One is that you hope you're right in what you break. I remember being really early on the PK Subban trade to the Devils at the draft that year that it happened, and to the point where like SportsCenter had me on the air before it was announced, and I'm like, I really hope I got this right. Like, if they want to talk to me, but it's hoping that you have the breaking news correct, and then just hoping that you have the details correct. I'm a real stickler for not reporting something until you've got it all nailed down. And to this day, it still bugs me when I think I've got all the details on a trade, then the release comes out and it's like, wait, I didn't have that 6th round pick, and it's just not a big deal to anybody but me, but you just want to make sure that you get accurate information out there, because ultimately, people are going to re-quote it and retweet it and everything else. And it becomes kind of, canonical if you're not, and you want that to be accurate. The
first time, it wasn't really that I broke something. It was just I quoted David Poile, and this was kind of your fault because it was when the Mike Ribeiro, I think they had re-signed Mike Ribeiro or something, and I quoted David, and you retweet or you DM me and were like, did he really say this? And I was like, yeah. And you retweeted it, and then my Twitter blew up. It was, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was when Ribeiro was kind of going through all his stuff, and it was a little bit of a controversial signing.
So you're saying that Greg hopped in your DMs?
Yeah, he did. He did hop in my DMs. We've been best friends ever since.
No, it's great. It's a feeling for those who've ever been in the industry. Like when you do break news and you're the first out of the gate and no one else has it, it kind of feels like you're on the edge of a building and you're just staring down. Right? You know what I mean? Like there's no safety harness, there's no nothing, and then eventually you can just kind of climb back through the window when it becomes apparent that you were correct. But I think
you're
we've
right.
all had those moments.
Yeah, I've only broken 2 big stories, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if these are wrong, I'm dead. I'm done. Yeah. I'm done. Right?
Yeah, for sure. And then of course it becomes. I mean, ultimately, it's also, part of this is also, none of us are writing fiction here. If we're getting news, we're relying on people telling us the news. And so on top of everything else, if you feel like you've gotten something wrong, then ultimately that means a source burned you. And then are they a bad source? Did they have a reason to? What happened on your end to end up getting something wrong? Luckily, that hasn't happened to me a lot. But it always is in the back of your mind of being like, please tell me the people that I've relied on for information are giving me good information.
Let me ask you, this was a question at the time I thought was really dumb, but then it made more sense. Somebody asked one time, they said, do you have a gut feeling something's going to happen? And I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Do you have those tonight? Do you have a gut feeling something big's going to happen?
Oh, no, because I have a bad spidey sense for when things are going to happen, but I have a good spidey sense for whether the people I'm talking to are telling me the truth, or whether I think that, the reading between the lines when they're talking to you as to whether or not there might be more to what they're saying. I guess it's more crap detector than spidey sense, if we're being honest. But I do have a good sense of that, and it's one of the fun things about journalism is that. You talk to a ton of people, and then you kind of have to figure out what they haven't told you or why they're telling you the things that they have told you. Yep, right. And that can lead you down a billion different places.
It's funny. It'll be June. It'll be 10 years since the PK Subban Shea Weber trade.
Wow.
That is crazy.
That's time marches on. I just saw Nick Dowd, who got traded from the Capitals to the Golden Knights, I think has been with the Capitals for 8 years. Wow. Yeah. And I still remember him being one of those guys at the deadline where it's like, this guy makes no money, someone should acquire him. And then, he gets traded for a first, a second and a third today or whatever it was. So time marches on. But the deadline's always fun. I mean, it's the next 24 hours is a blast. Even if nothing happens, the speculation, the things that get set up for the off season, because sometimes it's these trades that don't happen that all of a sudden lead to the big things that do happen in the summer. Like it's all just a really fun time of year, and then we exhale and wait for the playoffs to start.
Greg, Chase and I have this great quality that when we, in our interview with you, something big happens. Every time we go off the air, within 10 minutes, there'll be something big happen. So there's going to be a massive trade in the next 15 minutes after you hang up with us that you'll have that you will not be able to discuss on the Chase and Big Joe show.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, based on the available information at this trade deadline, it's going to take someone having to say yes to a trade,
Yep.
and that hasn't always happened. But I listen. Robert Thomas is a good example. Like, I still hold out hope that there is somebody that's going to step up with the deal that the Blues are looking for, and there are a couple teams that have the kind of players they are looking for. Seattle, Utah. There's a few teams that could really step up and take a big swing if they wanted to, and we'll see if it happens in the next 24 hours.
Do you think O'Reilly or Stamkos are moved by tomorrow?
I am like 105% convinced that Stamkos won't move, just based on everything I understand about that situation. But, O'Reilly's a tricky one. I mean, O'Reilly is in that tier that's a couple up from the guys that are moving, your Nick Waz and your Jason Dickinsons. He's kind of in that group with Nazem Kadri and players like that. And so, if somebody's really in on Kadri, they don't get him, or if they think that they need that kind of player, I mean, do they knock Barry's socks off with an offer? And if it's a team that O'Reilly wants to play for, who knows?
Yeah.
I tend to think it won't happen, but I'm not discounting that one as much as I'm discounting the Stamkos one.
Well, going to be interesting. Thanks as always, Greg. Love the conversation, and get some sleep when you can.
Anytime, boys. Talk to you next week.
Greg Wyshynski joining us on the program, presented by Old National Bank. Get old. We love having Greg on with us. We'll react to that, and also I've gotten some questions on the text line about just kind of this whole process that I want to try and put some clarity to. We'll do that coming up next. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. A
seller's market, so there's no reason why you wouldn't. And then, it'll be interesting to see how farther down, how deeper the cut goes. I think of the big three that we always talk about with Riley, Stamkos, and Marchessault is probably the one that people believe is most likely to move, maybe just out of change of scenery because of the playoff pedigree. But we'll see what happens with that because that will require maybe for some teams to get a little bit creative financially.
I was Greg Wyshynski just a few minutes ago with us on the Chase and Big Joe show. Joe, just seeing this, and your crack staff, Rick Merritt at The Unathletic, reporting this. The road dog Jesse James has reportedly departed WWE. I know you were thinking that could happen.
Where's he going?
And it has happened. It doesn't say, but just got that news from The Unathletic.
Well, we'll have to work on that, and just that's verified, right? I mean, that's true?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, doing a great job.
I saw they announced a few Hall of Famers. There's a tag team that's going in.
Demolition.
Axe,
Smash, and Crush.
Yep.
Stephanie McMahon will go in. AJ Styles will go in, and I think that's all they've.
Okay, good. Are we
The Undertaker? So this is great. So the Undertaker is now going and telling people they're going in the Hall of Fame.
It's great.
He's like the who was it? Chris Baker with
Sam Baker.
Sam Baker.
Is that his name? His son was Sam Baker.
Something Baker.
David Baker.
David Baker, maybe with the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of fun. So we appreciate Greg for coming on, and I love when we get new fans or newer fans or fans that don't know all the nuances, and they legitimately just want to ask questions when it comes to any type of sport.
Sure.
So Mark H. on our text line texted him and said, should an outgoing GM be making these moves? It is a fair question to ask. My answer to him was, who else is going to make the moves? Trotz has the support of ownership and his bosses. This is something they had all discussed, that he will remain GM until a new GM is found. Because anyone that's under him, Brian Poyle or Scott Nickel or Kelty or whatever, I mean, They're under him. They've been with him like they've been with David Poyle. So you're kind of getting the same thought process anyway.
Sure.
So who would run it? And then he replies with, it's clear that Trotz is selling off key pieces of the roster for future draft picks. A new GM might think differently. So shouldn't these major decisions be left to the new GM? That's all I'm asking. Again, a fair question. But now's the time to sell these guys. All the guys they've traded have expiring contracts that will expire June 30th.
I mean, you can't do this June 10th.
Right. So you have to do it now. They can't wait to get the new GM to sell off some of these things. Now, O'Reilly and Stamkos, you could wait on that, and that's probably what's going to end up happening. But they have to sell some of this now. I said the timing of a sell-off when you're 4 points out of a playoff spot is very disheartening as a fan. I'm set to renew my tickets by March 14th, and I'm not sure that I'm going to at this point. I'm just a fan and not an expert, but I would have let the guys fight for a playoff spot and let these decisions be made by an incoming GM. It goes on to say a 2028 draft pick won't play in the NHL until 2031 or later. I have a hard time with ending our chances now with moves like that. Then we draft guys, develop them, and trade them away. Look at the team now. What have we drafted and developed that actually kept? I don't see any consistency with the strategy. But, again, I'm a fan trying to understand the logic. Thanks for the reply. So, all very fair questions.
Absolutely they are.
This is a team in transition. A new GM is going to come in here and going to look at things differently because that's what you need them to do. That's what you want them to do. Barry Trotz and David Poyle would both probably tell you that whoever the next guy is needs to come in and think like that guy and not like us because that's how this works.
Sure.
So there is a good chance they come in and they could come in and go, Andrew Brunette, you're doing a great job. We're going to keep you. They could come in just like Barry Trotz did and say, hey, you're a great coach, but I'm going to go get my own guy. That could happen. Then they could come in and look at the players. Ryan O'Reilly, we love you, but I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm going to move you. Or, hey, I need you to be a part of this rebuild. There are a lot of different scenarios that could go with that. As for the draft picks, I would say the percentage chance of the Predators using those draft picks to actually draft a player are probably less than 20%. They are currency.
Currency.
They're going to use that to trade, to move up in a draft or to acquire roster players or to acquire prospects. That's what they do. So I wouldn't read into, the second-round pick's not until 2028. It's going to be 2031 before, those players are ready. I wouldn't read into it that way because chances are you're not even going to use the pick. You're going to move it just like the team that acquired your player did to get something else.
Makes sense.
So it's currency. The next thing I'll say, renew your season tickets. If you're a fan, then keep being a fan. Yeah, this team might be bad next year. But
don't know that.
We don't know. Right. I don't know that. So I think you have to look at this as they are doing the things that they needed to do. Yes, they were 4 points out of a playoff spot. The reality of the situation is they probably weren't going to make it. And they ultimately came to that decision. They probably sat there and go, you know what? I know these guys are fighting. I'm not saying they're not, but things ramp up this time of year. Guys get hurt. We may not have enough. We need to do right by the future by trading off some assets and getting some things that we can build this team in the future. So Barry Trotz is trying to leave this team in a better situation for the next GM.
Let's hope he does it.
Just like David Poyle did for him.
Okay.
So I would say continue to support them, continue to go to the games, because you know what? Even if they're not good, the games are still fun.
They are a lot of fun.
Like I've gone and watched some bad hockey and had a time of my life. And it's fun to see the young guys grow right before your very eyes. So that's how I answer that. Mark, thank you for listening.
They're going to play
We
this before the
appreciate
game
you.
tonight. The 3 keys to the game.
Yeah, they should.
Chase McCabe TED Talk.
They should. And look, there's going to be different opinions on this. We had 3 weeks during the Olympic break. Wouldn't that have been a good transition time to hire a GM? No, David, because a lot of the pool that you're swimming in, these guys are still under contracts. This is off-season stuff. Yes, they can look around and they can, build a board and have some conversations, but they got to wait till the season's over.
Do you think they got their guy in mind?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they probably have an idea or have a list.
An idea.
Yeah. So I don't know. 1137 says, if the fans can put up with the Titans being as god-awful as they are, they can put up with the Predators selling off and going through a rough patch.
Winner!
That's a very good point. So that is something to keep in mind. Interesting. Talk about some wrestling news that I just read.
Yeah.
Elite Rockers, which is via Fightful Select. The next WWE Saturday Night's main event is reportedly scheduled for May 23rd, with Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, emerging as the leading candidate to host the show.
This year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like
That'd be pretty cool.
It's Memorial Day weekend, too.
Yep.
Let's get it, brother.
That would be fun.
I like it a lot.
There you go. We'll have much more coming up next, live from the Omni, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Thursday. Live here at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes. Tomorrow you're off. You're going to go down to the SIP, right?
I'm leaving at 3, headed to Mississippi to see the grandbaby. And, I'll be back Monday when we're going to be remote at Salvo's in Mount Juliet for National Meatball Day. Salvo's across from Green Hill High School. 8 locations all across Middle Tennessee. I'm telling you, the food is fantastic. And we'll get to experience it with Dr. Crane with us on Monday at Salvo's, noon to 3 in Mount Juliet. Come by and say hi. We'll be giving out Nashville Predators tickets as well. Always a good time when we get together. That's Monday, noon to 3, Salvo's, Mount Juliet.
Tomorrow, Connor Newt is going to sit in with me, and we already got something loaded for just for the trade deadline. We got that going on. DMC of Run DMC is going to be in studio with us around 12:30.
Come on, man.
So that is going to be fun. And then TJ Miller, who is a comedian. I think we've had him on before.
He was on with us on October 20th, 2023.
That's right. Okay, that's what I thought.
That's right.
So
I remember it because a week before my birthday. So
he's coming in studio with us as well.
That was a memorable interview for sure.
Yeah,
it was.
So he will come in. It'll be fun.
I get asked.
Looking forward
people
to that.
ask me like an interview that you did, like on-site live comedian that was just bizarre. And the Greg Pogan, I interviewed a guy one time that he'd been out all night, and I forget his name. He was on SNL for one season, and he'd been drinking all night. And Greg, if you're listening, you can text in. And he broke out in hives not just on the arm, from head to toe.
Jeez.
And he had some reaction to alcohol. And he started sweating. He had to leave halfway through the interview. I just never seen somebody break out in hives like that, panic, and then leave. And I forget his name.
That was with you and Greg?
Yep. Many years ago. That was probably the most bizarre.
Was it here or is it the other place?
I don't remember.
Because I feel like I would have remembered that.
I think it was the other place. And I'm not even going to look his name up because, like I said, it wasn't. But to me, that was the most bizarre interview we've ever done. Good times, man.
Yes, good times indeed. Here on the program. Eric. I had to remember my lines. Sorry.
You interacted with me like my grandma did. What do you want?
Eric wants to answer the question of the day. Eric, what's up?
Hey, guys, first of all, I heard you talk about WWE. I'm going to try and see if I can't win some tickets for that May 23rd because I don't know if they're showing here locally because WWE now, the Saturday Night main event's on Peacock, and I don't have Peacock. So I'm going to try to see if I can win some tickets, guys.
It's not confirmed. It's just a rumor that's out there, but just something to pay attention to.
And also, guys, wish me luck tomorrow. I've got to go to the dentist and have a bunch of teeth pulled. Not looking forward to it, but I got no choice.
Well, good luck, Eric. That sounds awful.
All right, thank you. So, guys, as far as people have told me who I look like, I've had people tell me I look like a couple of former Titans football players, some celebrities. The Titans football players I was told to look like, which I don't think I do, were Eddie George and Brad Hopkins. I don't think I look like either one of them. And I've had people coming up to me in the store and said, I play football for the Titans. I said, no, but I wish I had that money. But the two I've been told I look like by most people, and I was flattered by one and not flattered by the other. The one I was flattered by is I've heard many people told me I look like former President Barack Obama. Okay. And people have asked me if I was him or if I was related to him. I said, no. But I've had several people tell me I look like him. But then I've had other people who have come up to me and I've told them this, and they said, you do look like him. I've been told I look like O.J. Simpson. When I hear that, I said, oh, no.
Hey, you should have stopped at Barack Obama. That's a handsome man. You were good right there. Oh, man.
Yeah, but that's true. I've had several people tell me I look like him, and I've looked and I said, yeah, I do kind of favor him. I didn't like hearing that, but I've had several people tell me that. Guys, y'all take care, and we'll talk to you again soon. Joe, have a good trip, and say hello to the grandbaby for me. Take care.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Eric. Well, those are some interesting ones. That is for sure. Coming up next, what day is it in Celebrity Birthdays? It's Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Thursday. Hope you're having a good day so far. We're live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes. It's been a fun one. We'll see what ends up happening with the trade deadline tomorrow. But with that, let's get to what day is it in Celebrity Birthdays.
All right, first on this, we have National Potty Dance Day. Joe used to do that a little bit.
Potty dance?
Yeah,
I do that like every segment.
Oh,
potty. Got to go to the potty.
Proud of you.
Thank you, pal.
National Poutine Day is today. It's pretty delicious there. National Cheese Doodle Day. Never heard of that. National Hospitalist Day. Shout out to those that work at the hospitals, take care of people. Real Film Day, so the actual old school real films. World Book Day. It's celebrated in Ireland and the UK. Let's see what else we got here. Name Tag Day. Multiple Personalities Day. Cinco de Marcho. All right. Interesting. All right. National, let's see. Let me squint my eyes a little bit. National Absence Day. Is that right?
I don't know. You're telling us.
Yeah, that's right. That's all I got. That's what we're going
real quick, breaking news. NCAA is appealing the Trinidad Chambliss preliminary injunction. They're trying to get it overruled in a 660-page filing to the Mississippi State Supreme Court. The NCAA is asking the court to overrule the injunction and expedite the ruling. Man, they just can't get anything. Nobody can get along anymore, right? So Trinidad coming back, but who knows? That's from Pete Thamel. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. Got to get within two. Since Dr. Crane, since you're not here, we'll start with you. How old is Fred the Hammer Williamson, actor, NFL player?
68.
74.
88. Chaser, how old is the Hall of Fame legend Rocky Blyer?
77.
74.
80. Dr. Crane, one of the best relievers of all time, Kit Tekulve.
71.
73.
79. Chaser, how old is Michael Irvin?
Michael Irvin, 66.
64.
60. Dr. Crane, MLB player Brian Hunter.
Current?
Brian Hunter.
Thanks. I'm going to go 52.
58.
55. God, you guys are terrible. 0-0.
Thanks.
Chaser, Paul Konerko won a World Series with the White Sox.
Yeah, 2005. I'm going to say he is 47.
42.
50. Dr. Crane, Wally Zierback. What's his name? Wally, the played it. Oh, gosh.
I don't even know what you're trying to say.
Wally Zerbiak. Wally Zerbiak. There we go. Basketball player. Legend.
60?
Gosh.
74.
49.
Nice.
He played, I guess, at Miami of Ohio. Was great. Chaser, how old is New Zealand rugby hero Dan Carter?
Dan Carter, 41.
52.
44. Dr. Crane, come on. He had more test scores than anybody in history. Dr. Crane, how old is Kyle Schwarber?
Today is his birthday. I forgot about that. Kyle Schwarber is 36.
33.
33 exactly. Somebody's on the board, 2-0. Chaser, Justin Fields. How old is Justin Fields?
28.
29.
27. 3-0 Chase. Friend of the show, Dr. Crane, Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller.
59.
74.
71. Chaser, the very attractive Eva Mendez.
52.
58.
52 exactly. Dr. Crane, the actor-director Kevin Connolly.
60.
57.
52. I think she lives here in Nashville. Supermodel Nikki Taylor. Friend of the show. Fan of the show. I have no idea.
31.
41.
51. Got the ones right. Yeah. All right, here we go. Rapid fire. Chaser, singer Eddie Grant, Electric Avenue.
71.
74.
78. Dr. Crane, actor, comedian Marsha Warfield. She was on Night Court. Very funny.
60.
63.
72. Chaser, the Proclaimers, Charlie and Craig Reed. I will walk 500 miles in. How old are they?
67.
70.
64. Dr. Crane, John Frusciante, guitar player for Red Hot Chili Peppers.
58.
62.
56. You're on the board. 5-1. Let's see here. Chaser, musician Amanda Shires. I think she used to be married to Jason Isbell.
48.
44.
44 exactly. It is 5-3, and we're down to 2 more birthdays. Dr. Crane, how old is singer Rome? R-O-M-E.
33.
27.
56. Last one from Star Trek Enterprise, actress Jolene Blaylock.
58.
63.
51. With that, Chase wins 5-3.
Well done.
Boom.
Job,
Thank you, sir.
Everybody, well done. In the week strong there, Chaser.
Yeah, well, it's fine. We'll probably do it again tomorrow without you. We'll miss you.
You should.
Yeah.
It's a show
It'll
that
be
lives
Connor
on.
versus Dr. Crane.
Oh, it'd be great. They won't know anybody that's over 25 years old.
Hey, Dr. Crane's been on a run lately. That is going to do it for us here from the Omni today.
Hey, it is as we end every show to our guys out there, a simple message every day. Know how much we love you, and our world is a better place because you are here. Know how many people absolutely love you. I tell you, right now when you walk into a room, people light up because they think about you and they see you. Somewhere right now, somebody's smiling because of a joke you told them or how you make them feel. Please know that you are deeply loved. I need you to go to therapy, unitycares.com, unitycares.com. Go there, sit down. Just go one time. Go one time for me and change your life. I tell you all the time how our world is a great place because you are here. Please know how much we love you on this show. You can reach out to us at any time and know more than anything else in the world. Please know more than anything else in the world how much God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. DVD coming up next. 102.5 The Game.